Welcome to another episode of You Know
Ball, baby!
Brought to you by the Run the Play
Network.
I'm your host, Anthony. To my right, I got the man, the myth, run it, legend, Philly Phil in the bill. Philly, how's it going, brother?
Bro, it's going really good. Just starting out, getting to the end of the year. Finally gonna graduate from college, which is a good feeling. I know you is too.
Yeah.
Probably stressing a little bit.
A little bit.
Oh, same here,
A
bro.
little bit. I had to pick up another class, I tell you that.
You have to pick up another class?
Yeah, my advisor kind of screwed me over, so I needed to pick up another class to graduate this semester. But we here. After that, we here. I already finished all the assignments for that class, so I don't have to think about it the rest of the semester. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get the fuck out of school. Lock in on running the play, baby. I'm ready, dude. I'm so ready. There's a lot of good basketball, obviously, to talk about. A lot of NBA news. At the top of the show, I just want to give a shout out to Boom Fantasy because this is coming out on Thursday. I want you guys to be aware that this weekend, if you do a 2-leg parlay, the minimum payout will be 3 times your money, and the maximum payout will be 1,000 times your money.
Oh,
so you put $10 on a parlay. Let's say you I feel like it's so good for light bettors. You know, you put 5, you put $10 on a parlay, you can pay out 5,000, 10,000 on just 2 legs. You know, so I'm telling y'all, sign up for Boom Fantasy. Use code RTP. If you don't think it's for you and you use our code, you get a risk-free bet up to $100. So you're betting with house money. You know,
so you might as well pick that up. That sounds good.
It's free money.
That sounds really good.
Free money. So check that out. But yeah, I mean, let's talk about what basketball happened this week, right? We have the playing games, which we are going to talk about. But first, you know, I felt like I kind of called this with the Mike Budenholzer stuff. Mm-hmm. I think he's a great coach, obviously, but I think firing him was the right move. It feels weird, though, because didn't they extend him or sign him to like a 5-year deal or something like that when they signed him?
Yeah, that's why I didn't really expect them to fire him because it was a 5 or 4 year deal. And I was like, why the heck would they fire him and pay him all that money? Because you're still going to have to pay him.
Were they frauds, bro? Like, as an organization? Because, 4 years ago, they seemed elite. You know, they seemed like they were they signed him to a 5-year, $50 million deal in 2024. So there were still 4 years left on that deal. They seemed so good when they made the finals. Yeah. Kill Bridges. They just hit on all their draft picks. They did everything right. And now it just seems like they're doing everything wrong. You know?
It's so bad.
Yeah.
What did they finish at, 11th?
11th, and they were pretty out of it because Sacramento and Dallas kind of went on late runs, and now there's a rumor right now going on that they're going to pay Devin Booker 2 years, $150 million, which he hoops, but that's a lot of money.
What is that, $80 million per year?
75. So
that's 75.
I've been saying I just think they should trade Booker, trade KD. I don't think you get anything for Beal, so I would just let him rock.
So they're that loyal to Devin Booker to pay him $75 million. That's is that Jokic money?
That might be the biggest in the league annually, but it's only 2 years. I just think, bro, a team with Booker as their best player, unless it's perfectly built, is not going to go far. And they had that. They had it perfectly built, and they blew it up. You can't build a team like that twice in one player's career. I don't think so. I mean, even when the Warriors had, their original run and then got KD and won a championship after KD left, they didn't build a great team. They just ended up winning they got there. But I don't think a team led by Booker can do the same things that a team led by Curry can. And I love Devin Booker. I was arguing that Devin Booker over Ant last season when everyone was ready to crown Ant as the best shooting guard in the league. Mm-hmm. But I think, trade Booker away, let Booker get... if I'm Devin Booker, why would I take this deal? Unless I'm just, locked in on the money, which is cool. But Booker gets paid from so many other outlets. Go play somewhere else and try to win. Devin Booker is one of those guys that, at this point in his career, should be in the playoffs every year. Mm-hmm. As a fan, I want to see him in the playoffs every year. Imagine he goes to Atlanta.
Atlanta would be really good. But imagine if he were to... Well, I mean, I know they probably couldn't do it because of money reasons, but imagine if he goes to Orlando.
That'd be fire, too.
I think Orlando would be really fun.
Orlando needs a guy like that. And I think Orlando and Atlanta, and those are teams we're going to talk about later because they played each other. But I think they're in a very similar spot where next year I think both of them are going to take a huge leap. Like, I think the East is back next year. You know, Atlanta just was hurt. All Atlanta really needs to do is hit on the draft pick this year. It doesn't need to be, they don't need to draft the next LeBron. Yeah. But if they could draft a guy that can contribute once he gets into the league, like, they are looking solid. And same thing with Orlando. I mean, they were beat up all year. Jalen Suggs is out. Like, if they hit on a draft pick and have another role player, like, they should both be in the kind of talks for Devin Booker, but I just don't think you should overpay for a Devin Booker. A team that could overpay is a team like Utah. Yeah. Or a team like whoever gets the number one pick.
The Wizards?
The Wizards, yeah. Like, if you get Cooper Flag and you're like, all right, like, we're ready. You know, like, just I'm going to send you guys A.J. Johnson, Bub Carrington, and fucking Sarr for Devin Booker, let's say. That's an overpay for sure. But a team like the Wizards can afford that if they have Cooper Flag and Devin Booker. You know, like, that might be worth it.
I'm looking at the money right now for the Suns, and I'm just like, holy crap, bro.
They have a lot of money tied in Grayson Allen, KD, Bradley Beal, right?
Bro,
Who else? Anyone else with a big deal?
Kevin Durant. Or you just said Kevin Durant. I kind of want to say Royce O'Neal, but that's honestly a good contract for a 3-and-D dude. It's $9 million, $10 million, $10 million.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. But
Grayson, how much does he get?
Grayson's getting $15 million.
Annually?
Well, not annually because it goes up $1 million per year.
Okay.
So I mean, he's getting paid at the end of his contract $19 million. He has a player option.
He got that Duncan Robinson, like, where he was like the best shooter in the league. Then he got paid and was just like, all right, I'm cool being a good shooter, you know.
But I mean, I did say at the start in a weird way, like when you're getting, because I forgot who else they got at the start of the league.
I do remember you hating on Grayson Allen.
Well, because. Oh, it was because of the fantasy thing. Because people had him high up there, and I was like, but he's not going to get that much playing time.
Yeah.
Because now they got Bradley Beal, and it was because they got Tyus Jones.
Yeah.
And I was like, it makes more sense to start him, and then it just wouldn't make. I don't know. I just think it's weird. Like, and the fact that now they're going to be paying them Devin Booker $75 million per year. He's already getting paid 49, 53, 57, 61. So if he goes up to 75, that's $15 million that you're probably not going to be able to use on like a really good role player or 3-and-D.
Yeah, how do you rebuild this team if you're paying a guy $75 million?
Man, oh
man.
man.
I just, especially if KD's out, and you know where I want to see KD go is Dallas. I saw pictures of that, and I think they can make that work. If they send like Lively or something like that, Lively and some assets, like Lively and Christie for KD, I could definitely see them doing that shit.
I kind of want to see, and this might be weird, kind of want to see Devin Booker go to the Mavs.
I think that would be sick too.
I don't want to see that.
I think that would be sick too. We could talk about some of these play-in games now. We could talk about the Mavs a little bit. We could talk about these teams. Do you want to start with the 9 versus 10 games, or do you want to start with the 7 versus 8 games?
You know, let's go Hawks Magic.
All right, let's talk about the Hawks Magic. I felt like this game kind of sucked. I'm not gonna lie. Did you see Terrence Mann and Tyler Ulis on Twitter?
What'd they say now?
They were
Tyler Ulis?
Yeah, Tyler Ulis.
The Phoenix Suns legend?
Yeah. I don't remember. Oh, Tyler Ulis was talking about the state of, like, college ball or NBA ball or something like that. And it was something along, you know, I'm going to find it. Because I don't want to misquote him. But Tyler Ulis and Terrence Mann were beefing on Twitter. Tyler Ulis pretty much said something like, players that average, like, 6 to 7 points shouldn't be in the NBA or something like that. Let me see.
So Alex Caruso shouldn't be in the NBA?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't know if he said that or maybe he deleted it.
Tyler Ulis really said that? Out of all players, Tyler Ulis said that.
I think he deleted it. Tyler. Yeah, bro. It was funny because Terrence Mann responded. Or maybe Terrence Mann tweeted something like, you know what it was? Terrence Mann tweeted like, players that average 6 to 7 in college aren't going to be like elite NBA players or something like that. Oh. And then Tyler Ulis responded, by the way, this man averages like 6 to 7 points.
How much did Terrence Mann average in college, actually?
Terrence Mann, where did he go? He went to Florida?
He went to Florida. I'm just trying to remember how much. One sec. Florida.
Tyler Ulis was so cool.
Terrence Mann, college.
But yeah, he probably didn't average a lot. He definitely didn't do shit in this game. He shot 0 for 5 in this game. Zachary Risasher, after having a great season, shot 2 for 10 in this game, 1 for 5 from 3.
He averaged 9, 5, and 2.
He was good in college.
Which isn't too bad.
He was a good, like, you could tell. He's like, I don't know if you saw my tweet yesterday, but I was like, this Kings-Mavericks game is the perfect reason why teams need to draft more older players. Because or not the Kings. It was like after the Heat game before the Kings game because Devin Carter and Davion Mitchell both looked so good in their respective teams.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, for this Hawks Magic game, Trae Young got ejected. Paolo Banchero shot 1 for 7 in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
Dyson Daniels was the only Hawk without a negative plus minus. It was pretty ugly. I think the heroes for Orlando were Anthony Black and Cole Anthony. Two Anthonys. Put it on for the name. They look great. And then Wendell Carter, too.
Oh, yeah.
All those guys really came out there and hooped and picked up when Paolo was not. And low-key, if, like... And that's what I'm saying. Next season, I wouldn't be worried for this team because if these guys could all progress and hoop and Paolo could, like, sit back a little bit more and Franz could sit back a little bit more, like, they're straight, bro. You know? Like, I think they're straight. I was surprised to see Tristan Da Silva only got 4 minutes. Like, early on in the season, he started a lot for the team. He had kind of a bad end of the season with Orlando, but I still think, like, he's too good to be just sitting on the bench, you know?
I really want Orlando because don't get me wrong. I like Jalen Suggs as the point guard.
Yeah.
But I like him way more as a shooting guard. So I really want them to get an offensive, like, if they want to put Cole Anthony at the 1 and then do a Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs thing as a backcourt, and then just in order for Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero to get most of the usage, by all means do it. But
why do you say that though? Why do you say you like him better at the 2?
Well, because I feel like I just really want another guard out there that can be a little bit more offensive. Like an Anthony Simons, like a Trae Young, like a Damian Lillard type dude. And, I mean, Jalen Suggs can be an offensive guard. Like, he can score. It's not like he can't. But I really like him. I like his defense, and I feel like most of the focus should be on that. Because I feel like him at the point guard makes it where he needs to be a little more all around. Like, he needs to be able to shoot. He needs to be able to score. He needs to be able to play defense. He needs to be able to move the ball around. And I feel like I want him to be more of that, not KCP, but more of that, maybe a not. This is gonna sound bad. This is gonna sound bad. Like a Drew Holiday.
Oh. No, I think he does that style well though, and that's why I like him at the 1 because I think he is a true point guard where his option 1 isn't just score. He's a playmaker first, and he's got that defense. That's why I think a more offensive oriented 2 that could kind of put the ball in the basket would be nice, or maybe just like someone better than KCP because KCP had such a down year.
Yeah,
he's been up and down, but I think someone like that who could stand in the corner and be elite would be nice for this team. Like Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield would be a very good fit here. I feel like would make it easier on Paolo, Franz, and Suggs. But yeah, I like Suggs as a point guard. I think he's really good. And Cole Anthony, I just don't think he has the everything else to start. I think he's a perfect bench spark plug, and that's kind of it. Like, I wouldn't want him to start on my team. I just wouldn't feel comfortable with that.
So are you still on the train for the KCP Jalen Suggs backcourt?
Yeah, I mean, if they could get someone better than KCP, then do it. But I don't like Suggs at the 2. I think Suggs needs the ball in his hand. I don't like him standing in the corner.
No problem.
And he obviously does that with Paolo, but I think he is a good playmaker to get those guys involved. Let's talk about Warriors-Grizzlies.
Here we go.
This was kind of the game of the week, probably. This shit was a banger for sure. You were talking a lot of shit in the group chat.
Oh, yeah, because I'm a Laker fan, and I'm going to hate. But if we talking basketball, that was a really fun game.
I'm a basketball fan, boy. Basketball fan first. You know,
I can talk my shit in the group chat.
Desmond Bane was lights out in this game. It felt like every time I looked at the screen, he was knocking in a shot. 30 points, above 50% from the field, 5 for 8 from 3. Ja looked really good, especially after that injury, coming back in and still playing.
Oh yeah,
Edie got a lot of shit on Twitter. I don't know if you saw a lot of the Edie.
I was shook every second. My phone was blowing up with, man, Edie only got like 6 rebounds, and then it turns out he finishes with 12 rebounds and I think 17 points.
No, he had 14 points and 17 rebounds.
14 points, 17 rebounds.
Like, I don't get why people were shitting on him. You know, he had a bad end, bad ending stretch. He had 3 turnovers in the second half, but still, bro. I mean, 14 and 17 plus 12 as a rookie. His whistle, I felt like was really bad in the game after rewatching the game. Because at first, when that play happened where he got the rebound and Looney fouled him, I was like, you don't call that in the playoffs. But after rewatching it, I was like, dude, his whistle was so bad this game. Like, I'm glad he got one.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not the type to say throw whistle around for everyone, but I think his whistle was pretty fucking terrible in this game.
Yeah.
And he was 6 for 8 from the free throw line. Santi Aldama had a great first half. I think Santi Aldama is an elite like role player. Is he not?
He does his job, but man, oh man, when it comes to those late game situations, he does the dumbest stuff. He does the dumbest stuff. So there was a Laker game, there was a Raptors game, there were other games before in the season where he just did bad stuff. He either turned the ball over when they really didn't need a turnover, or he just would throw a bad. He turned the ball over. But pretty much, thinking about it now, that's literally he just turns the ball over. So when I saw him taking the ball out, and I'm just thinking, I wonder if this is gonna go wrong, and I was happy because he didn't pass the ball in, and that was the problem. He stood there, and I know they were covering them, but he didn't pass the ball in, and I was like, I don't know why I'm not that mad at this because I kind of expected
you hate
it.
The Grizzlies, motherfucker.
Yeah, I do. He plays his role though. Like in all around in basketball, he plays his role.
He had a great first half.
Yeah,
first half he was lights out. I was really surprised to see that Gigi Jackson and Jonathan Kuminga both didn't play at all in this game, and neither were hurt. Jonathan Kuminga didn't play in that Clippers game or in this game, the Clippers game to get the 5 seed.
The 6 seed.
6 seed for the Warriors, 5 seed for the Clippers, right?
Yeah.
But Draymond Green said he thinks that Kuminga's gonna contribute in the series versus Houston. He said that in a quote. And Kuminga, I remember this game vividly. He had 33 points in a game early on in the season versus Houston. Brandon Clark and Jalen Wells, I feel like would have made a difference in this game.
Oh yeah.
I think Jalen Wells, I don't remember what game it was, but there was a game early this season where he did a great job guarding Curry the whole game. And I think he's one of the few players on this team that could chase him through screens and shit. Marcus Smart would have helped this team if they didn't get rid of him. He definitely would have been. I think he would have put them over because Curry had 37, Jimmy had 38. Yeah, bro, it just sucks. I really like Gigi Jackson, and he had a bad end to his season, and I think that's why he wasn't in the rotation this game. But bro, like, come on. And like I said in the group chat, Taylor Jenkins would have drawn up a play to get that ball in. I don't give a fuck.
I'm still wondering what the heck that play was. Like,
nothing.
It was literally just Ja Morant try to get open, Desmond Bane stay in the corner just in case they help on Ja. Jaren Jackson Jr., I don't know what the heck he was doing. I was like, nobody's setting screens. Everybody's just trying to get open.
Getting face guarded.
I was like,
nothing to do.
I was like, you guys are so far away from the ball. So you know what? In Santi Aldama's defense, I don't know how the heck you were going to get that ball.
I blame the coach on that.
That was the weirdest play. And then there was nobody on his side in the corner, I don't think. Wait, who was it? Jaren Jackson Jr., Ja Morant, Santi Aldama, Desmond Bane. Who was the other dude? Zach Edey?
I don't think Edey was in.
Who was the other dude in the game?
I don't know, but they were all face guarded.
It was just a weird play.
It was just ugly. I didn't love it. I did not love it. Now the Warriors go on to face
the Houston Rockets.
The Houston Rockets, yeah. And then the Grizzlies, if they pull it out tomorrow, then they end up playing us. I want them to beat Dallas so bad, but we'll talk about that.
You want them to beat Dallas?
Bro, okay, this is why.
Okay.
There are two teams with a positive record against us this season. Mm-hmm. The Dallas Mavericks and the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
If we could play a team that doesn't have a positive record against us, like, I'd be happy, you know? No other team in the league has beaten us in a series other than the Mavericks and the Warriors. So, I'm cool with that.
Do you want to talk about the Mavericks versus Kings game then?
Let's talk about it because, I mean, again, these two games, the Mavericks-Kings game and the Bulls-Heat game, I didn't love. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I don't understand why people are saying they should get rid of the play-in. You know? Especially in the East, I kind of get it because, like, I don't think either of these teams can make noise, really.
Last night's game was...
That was a mess.
I just listened to it because I couldn't watch it, sadly, because it was on ESPN and I didn't have it for that day. But, you know, Tyler Hero, I'm happy for him. He did his thing. He showed that he wants to be in the playoffs.
I told you, that man is first team all underrated. Mm-hmm. Him and Zubac are like the two most underrated players in basketball.
Zubac is doing his thing.
Zubac, I told you, bro, Zubac dead ass is top 20 right now. I don't want to hear shit. I don't think you could name 20 players better than Zubac. He has been elite this season on both sides of the ball.
I'm going to have to look at that.
I feel like he has, bro. He's been killing this season. Tyler Hero, I don't know if he's top 20, but he has been elite this season as well. He's just like a pure bucket, bro. I'm going to give him his credit. AD deserves his credit as well.
Oh, yeah.
I love Brandon Williams. Brandon Williams has been such a surprise this season.
What did he have last night? 17?
I don't know, but every time I looked over, he was just yak him, yak him, yak him. He did not miss. And I seen a tweet. It was interesting that both these teams don't have a point guard in the Kings Mavericks game. Like both of them aren't playing point guards at all because Kyrie's out. Devin Carter's kind of the Kings' best option as a point guard, but even him, I don't look at him as a playmaking point guard. You know?
I see him as a 2.
He's like a defensive 2. He's just tiny. So yeah, I think the Mavericks were a great example of why the play-in should still exist.
Yeah.
Because as the 10 seed, as a team that's been beat up all year, I think they can. I don't think they could beat us in a playoff series, but they definitely could make some noise and take us to 6-7 games maybe if it's like a series leaning their way.
What is it that they do that scares you the most?
It's not specifically something that they do, but it's the fact that they did beat us in the regular season. Like they have that over our heads. I think they beat us 3 games and we only beat them once, and that's the best record any team has against the Thunder this season. So you got to. I mean, like if we could play a team that we beat 2-3 times rather than a team that we only beat once, I would prefer to play that. But yeah, I think PJ Washington does a very good job at defending Shea. We saw that in the playoffs last year. He really had him on shutdown. But hey, if we could play the Mavericks and beat the Mavericks, I think that's a big confidence boost for our team. Whether that should be or shouldn't be, that's fine. But I think the Grizzlies, like, that feels more like a cakewalk, you know?
Yeah, right now I'm just trying to look at what their starting lineup was last night real quick because I just want to see what you think of this. So here we go. So at point guard, they had Najee Marshall. Shooting guard, they had Klay Thompson. Small forward, they had P.J. Washington. Power forward, they had Anthony Davis. Center, they had Derek Lively II. So, I mean, it's a big lineup, but at the same time, I still feel like you guys are okay. Because,
I think we're better than them, yeah.
Yeah. Like, if you guys, if that really is the matchup you guys have in your first round, how many games do you think you win by?
I think we could win in 5. Like, I think we could win in 4 or 5. But I think there is a world where this goes in the Mavericks' favor and it takes us a little bit more. Because they, like, bro, I'm going to give the team respect that has done it this season versus us, you know? And they deserve that respect.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they took us to 6-7. But I would expect us to win in 4. You know, it's just what it is. But a healthy Mavericks team, like that's what I'm saying. The play-in is so good for that because this team was so beat up. Like they deserve a chance to make the playoffs, right? I think that's fair. They played, they kind of busted Sacramento's ass. So, I mean, like it shows that they deserved it. And Sacramento, I mean, like you could shit on Sacramento and I feel like everyone was doing it. Let's not act like the last like 10, 15 games of the season, this team wasn't elite. Like, they were hooping their fucking asses off. They beat Cleveland, I believe, to end the season.
Yeah.
I think they beat the Clippers, too. Like, they were playing very fucking well to end the season.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to give them their credit. They had a great season. I mean, not every season you're going to end up as the top 3 seed in the West, you know? Like, that's just what it is. And despite the De'Aaron Fox trade, like, they had a lot to figure out, and I don't know if they did that fully. So, I want to see where they're at next season. I don't think you just blow up this team in the offseason, even though I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Yeah.
Well, without a doubt, they got to answer it with some type of, well, I mean, either a point guard or a shooting guard. I think you don't go any bigger than as you are right now, unless you want to get like a backup big for Domantas Sabonis, but.
And obviously they should be focused on acquiring players, but I just don't think they should blow it up.
Yeah.
That's more what I'm saying. Because I see fans saying that, and I don't think this is a championship level team or anything like that, but I just don't know if I trust this team to blow it up and rebuild. They haven't been able to do that ever. You know, they had DeMarcus Cousins and they were ass, you know, and that dude averaged 27 and 12. Like, come on, bro. And they had him for so long and they couldn't put anything around him. Like, I don't trust this team to do that. I think you go with what you got. You should pick up a point guard, maybe some shooters or something like that, a backup big maybe. But yeah, they just. Oh, they have Valanciunas actually, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Never mind.
Let's talk about what we think is going to happen tomorrow for the play-in games.
Yes, sir.
Mavericks take on the Grizzlies. Heat take on the Hawks. Let's start in the East first. Heat versus Hawks. Who do you got?
Heat versus Hawks. I am going to go with the Heat because, not just because of Bam and Tyler Hero, but because Andrew, did I say that right? Yeah, Andrew Wiggins. I don't know why I was tripping. Andrew Wiggins, He looked good
He looked
and
great.
sounded good yesterday because I was listening to it on
I was about to say, what the fuck does that mean?
because I was listening to it in my
you.
earbuds and I kept on hearing plays that he was like doing in certain aspects. It's low key fun to listen to the NBA because
Yeah.
I'll be doing some homework and I'll just be listening to it and the announcers will like in detail tell me different plays that are going on. Like,
yeah, hearing the radio team is fire.
But one other player that I was really impressed with was Davion Mitchell.
Davion looked good. I faded him on Boom.
I'm so excited for him, and I'm just in case I do want them to make it, and I do want to see them play. I believe they would be playing Cleveland, and I know Cleveland's probably going to smash them, probably do it in 4 and 5. But I do want to see what Andrew Wiggins and Davion Mitchell do to make it some way a competition for them to win.
Yeah.
Like I hope for it to be like maybe they lose in 7 points or 5 points, but
keep them close.
Yeah, I feel like the Heat are. I don't think they're going to win the series, but I think they may be able to make it hard for Cleveland. But that's my pick to win it.
I think both these teams took steps in the right directions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with. Davion Mitchell versus Trae Young is gonna be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna go with the Hawks.
And that's off the bench.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna go with the Hawks though. I think the Heat and the Mavericks both looked so fucking good yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Hawks, like, they have that chip on their shoulder. I think they had a very underwhelming performance versus Orlando, and they know that. The Heat overperformed. I don't think the Heat haven't looked like that all season. I mean, I think it was their highest scoring first half or first quarter or something like that this season.
Tyler Hero went 8 for 8 in the first half.
Like, I don't think that's a consistent thing. And Tyler Hero versus Dyson Daniels is going to be another interesting matchup too. So I'm going to go with the Hawks here. I'm going to go with the Hawks in a close one, though. I think this is going to be a really good game. Definitely tune into that. And again, bro, like, if you're anti-playing, like, just give these games a chance because I think both these games have high potential to be bangers. The next game is the Mavericks versus the Grizzlies in the Western Conference. See, this is the problem, right? And it's the same problem I have with the Heat. Both these teams look so good against, like, not weaker competition, but, like, they just had great nights. Both of them had very great nights. So I think the Grizzlies are a better team. I think the Grizzlies take it. But I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas takes it. And I want Grizzlies to take it, too. So maybe there's a little bias in that.
You're gonna want the Grizzlies to take it only because like I don't know what they were doing in that first half against Golden State. They just looked so rough, and that start they had was really weird. They were just going ISO the whole time, shooting up really bad shots. And if they do that against you guys, that's an easy sweep. Like I'm saying without a doubt, that's an easy sweep.
Yeah.
If they do that, I'm not trying to disrespect them like that, but I'm really trying to be like, there could be a way, this and that, not to win the series, but make it competitive. But if they shoot the way they did in that first half, that's a sweep. But when they came back, that's what I was, and made it a competition for the Warriors. I was like, wow, okay, they got some fight in them. So with this Mavericks versus Grizzlies playing game, I'm leaning more towards the Mavericks only because the Anthony Davis, Daniel Gafford, and PJ Washington def lineup that came in and just went nuts against the Kings. I feel like that's going to be a problem for them, especially for Jaren Jackson Jr., who does go inside and does through the whole season has done a really good job of getting in, shooting either floaters or mid-range shots. I feel like it's going to be hard going up against either Derek Lively and Anthony Davis or Daniel Gafford and Anthony Davis. PJ Washington, I feel like is going to clamp down on whoever's on the perimeter. I mean, he's probably going to be a problem for John Morant or Desmond Bain, whoever he gets switched on. But I don't know. I feel like just Dallas has a better defense, and Nico may be right on this part. We'll see next year when Kyrie comes back, but I feel like, in my opinion, defense is going to win this, and Dallas has got it. But the Grizzlies still can make it a competitive game.
A couple things I want to touch on.
Yeah.
I think the Grizzlies don't run the offense in the paint as much as Sacramento did. I think Sacramento, that's kind of their bread and butter, and like having those handoffs and stuff too. So it's a lot more Sabonis in action. I think the Grizzlies, Jaren's part of the offense. The Kings, Sabonis is the offense. You know, so I think that's a big difference that both these teams have. But watching this Mavericks versus Kings game, bro, I think I said this during the trade. It kind of faded away, and I feel back on this like, I don't think the Mavericks lost this trade. I think they had an injured year. But I think like this team makes a lot of sense. This is a fucking good ass team.
Yeah.
Especially healthy. Like next year, would you be surprised if they're a top 4 seed in the West?
No.
You know, exactly.
No.
So I'm not counting this team out next year. I mean, this year, sure. I think with Kyrie though, bro, it's different. It's scary. Like I do think this team is legit. I think Nico is right where they want to have that great defensive team. I mean, even when they won the championship in 2011, like, sure, Dirk is an offensive player. Everyone else around him was a defensive player.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to build on that or replicate that, I get it. It's a bad trade in the sense that it hurt Mavericks fans. Like, Luka is the face of the franchise. He's the cornerstone. But if I'm pulling all of that out of it, I don't think it was a bad trade. I mean, Anthony Davis is the dude who said, I want to play next to a big, and never in his career, other than DeMarcus Cousins, played next to a big. And they look good when they had DeMarcus Cousins, you know? Like, why not take that risk and say, like, hey, we think Anthony Davis is right. If Anthony Davis is playing next to a center, we think he can win a championship, and we have a great-ass roster.
Yeah.
I don't think they're wrong in that.
No, I mean, remember, my first reaction, like, I love the way this team looked without the injuries, with Kyrie Irving at the 1 and Anthony Davis back at the 4. And honestly, I saw a little bit of power forward Anthony Davis back last night, like when I was watching the highlights back. I mean, I was hearing it at first on the radio, but then when I was watching the highlights, bro was moving way quicker because the focus that he had was, yeah, we can play defense, but now I got some help. So now I can be that floater guy, or that guy floating around, but on the other side, I can just score at will.
Yeah, I mean, he started off, I think, 0 for 6 or 1 for 7 or something like that. But in the second half, bro, he was hooping. He was killing, bro. I like, again, I don't think they're wrong for this, bro. And I think, like, how the fuck can a team consistently score in the paint on that? You know, if a team isn't built to shoot threes like the Thunder, like, that is a hard-ass matchup for them because we got to get inside on Anthony Davis, Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively, PJ Washington. Like, that it's definitely a threat for sure. I think most teams are built to beat the Mavericks, but the Mavericks do have a great matchup for us.
No, I'm really excited for them next year though. Like, I'm really excited. Like with OKC, I could see them going, or this big lineup somewhat giving you guys problems, but I feel like if you guys win the first 2, it's already over.
It's over, yeah.
Yeah. Because they can't just go back to their home, and then I do think that whole Luka thing with the fans and the fact that they're booing them is really messing with them too.
I don't think they'd get booed if they made the playoffs. I think the fans, because bro, like, let's talk about it. All right, the Mavericks were not good when Luka was there this season, and Luka did not look good most. Oh,
you mean when he was on the floor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Luka did not look good most of the season. You know, so I get it. He's Luka. He's our cornerstone. He's our guy. But bro, they just did not look amazing this season. They didn't look like they could. It felt like this season that last season was a fluke. Say I'm wrong.
It's just so hard to say it was because
they were fighting for a play-in spot, bro.
That's true.
Like, I know Luka missed a month, but they were fighting for a play-in spot early in the season. We shout on Luka every week. Luka gave up a fucking game winner to the Jazz. You know, like, they did not look great. So I don't think this trade hurt them. I think they're in a better position now, especially for the future. I think it's a good move because now their roster's whole.
That's true. That I don't know. I'm still trying to see a better way, but it's probably because of injuries that's throwing me off.
And I think the Lakers also won this trade. Like, I think both sides benefit from this trade. So I'm not saying that to knock anything, right? But I just think that this trade made sense because the Mavericks didn't look like they could win a championship with this team, and the Lakers needed a fresh face. Like I was saying all offseason, once LeBron leaves, the Lakers are cooked. They had nothing, you know? Yeah. So you get Luka. The Mavericks get a big, you know, like Max Christie in a first, sure, but healthy Anthony Davis is arguably a top 5 player in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like, Luka's probably a top 3 player in the NBA. What the fuck is the difference? You know, you're taking a player that fits better. That's been shaking the whole time. I don't know why.
I'm just making sure it doesn't fall, but keep going.
That's all I'm saying.
No, I'm just excited for Dallas, and I'm excited for the Lakers next year. In my opinion, I don't feel like the pressure is for both of them to win a chip this year.
100%.
I think it's just to go out and show what the heck you can do.
100%.
And then just rebuild. Next year, go for a championship. But I don't know. A small part of me still thinking like we need to see something. Like we can't just Like, for example, with the Lakers, and I'm not trying to make this about the Lakers. I'm just going to say this real quick.
We're talking about the trade, though, so it's valid.
Yeah. So, just real quick, we need to win that first round.
Yeah.
There's no excuses if we lose to the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah.
They lost Karl Anthony Towns. They have a little bit more of defensive liabilities. In my opinion, we need to win that round. After that, if we're playing the Warriors or the Rockets, I'm not going to be too mad if we lose some. If we lose in 4 or 5, yes. But if we make it a competition, I'm not going to be too mad.
I think that's fair. I got to watch what I say because Laker fans get emotional when I bring them up. But I think that's fair. Mm-hmm. I think most fans wouldn't look at it like that.
Yeah.
It's championship or bust. And that's just not this. The reason the Lakers made that move wasn't to win a championship this season. So you know that the Lakers organization has a direction already set.
Yeah.
You know, if the Lakers wanted to win a championship this season and that was their focus this season, then they wouldn't have called back the Mark Williams trade. You know? So I think they think there's a bigger picture here.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to wait and see in the offseason. But I think it should work out for them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the next couple of years I think is a LA like top tier year. So
no, we need to be in that top 3 teams conversation for the next 2 or 3 years. We need to.
We got to be ready for that. But we're going to talk about what we think in the Lakers series in our next video. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about all the playoff series in the next video. So stick around, hit that bell to make sure you see that video. Join our Discord because we have a Discord now. We're going to be talking ball. Me and Phil have been talking about doing live streams. We might even just hop in the voice channels and watch games there. So if you're interested in any of that, make sure to like, subscribe, follow, but most importantly, run the play, baby. Philly Phil. Wrap it up.
Yes, sir. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Make sure to hit that bell as well. I'm your man, Phil. This Ant-Man straight out the MCU. We out, and let's bounce.
Use code RTP on Boom Fantasy. 1,000 times your money. For free.
And download the app, please.
Yes, sir. Who's calling my phone?
Who's calling that shit?
Who's calling my phone?
Who's calling that shit?